Hi, I'm Chef John Politte, and this is It's Only Food. Today on this episode, we're going to be making fried macaroni and cheese. But in the tradition of It's Only Food, we're going to be adding a special little twist. So make sure you stay tuned and check out what we do. We'll see you in a bit. All right, we're going to start out with our ingredients, of course. 1 box of macaroni and cheese, 1 cup of breadcrumbs, 2 huevos, an oil with a high smoke point, and of course, the barbecue pulled pork with some barbecue sauce in it. All right, now we showed you the ingredients. Now we're just going to show you how to mix it all up. So what I've got is I've got about a half a gallon of macaroni and cheese. This is equivalent to about a box of any kind of mac and cheese you want to do. Doesn't matter how or what brand it is, because you're going to end up mixing it with other things to enhance the flavor profile, and then you're going to fry it. And everybody knows that frying things makes them taste no better. So I'm going to add 2 eggs to this. I'm not going to season it because what we've got right here is some pulled pork that I've got, and I've already added the barbecue sauce to it and my wonderful seasoning. As you can see right there, that is already in there, so there's no need to add any more love to this because it's going to be fantastic the way it is. So take that all out. And I've got some breadcrumbs, which I'm just going to add after I've mixed this. I am using my hands. It's like my friend Larry over at the Wolf Pit says, mixing it with your hands does make it taste better. So, and I'm going to wash my hands. And I've washed my hands before I stuck it into the food too. So, and I'm just going to add about half of that. I want it to bind up with the eggs to help it stick together, because we're going to roll them into little cakes, like crab cakes. And then we're going to fry them in the pan. So I'm just going to add the rest of this. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and we'll be right back and we'll put them into little cakes. All right, I have let this mixture sit. This is the macaroni and cheese, the pulled pork with barbecue sauce in it, 2 eggs, and about 1.5 cups of flour. That has sat for about 5 minutes. And now one thing I did forget to mention in the list of ingredients, this is a little bit of flour and cornstarch. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little cake or patty with each of these. We'll get to that in a minute, but this is flour and cornstarch. This helps as a binding agent on the outside, and it also develop a nice crisp coat, and the cornstarch in there helps it to have a nice little shine to it. As you'll see when we get to cooking, it just makes it kind of glisten. So there's no flavor added to this because of that. It's just helps as a binding agent and to develop a nice crust. So this mixture has sat out for probably about, 20 hours, because I pulled it out right before I tried to do the introduction to the show, and that took about 500 takes. So I'm just kidding. It's out at room temperature now, so it's a little easier to work. And I'm just going to hit it in here real quick after I've made the patty and just set it on there. You can use a scoop so you get these uniform, but it's only food, so I don't really care about being uniform. There's a little patty for you. See all that in there? That macaroni and cheese and the pulled pork in there, that's going to be a wonderful thing. You can use these as an appetizer. You can use these as a meal in itself or as a side dish. This would be pretty good at barbecues or at picnics. I don't know if they can be served cold. Never tried it, but I'm sure I'll find out later when I eat the 30 of these that I'm going to make. But you don't want to sit here and watch me do all of these out of this big bowl. So now if you want to go make some popcorn or go to the restroom, now's your chance. We'll be back in a minute. All right, now we're going to fry them up. Basically just get your pan going, medium high to high heat. Add your oil in there. I got my good old deep frying pan, but we're going to shallow fry. Remember, with shallow fry, you don't want to crowd the pan too much with your food. a Teflon pan. I don't want to use anything that's going to scratch it up, so I'm going to use a nice rubber edged one so it doesn't burn or scrape. I'm sorry, scrape my pan up. Now I've got the cakes here. You can see macaroni and cheese cakes. Let me just close up on this here. I got, let me count real quick, 12 or a dozen as they say. I got about 8 more on the pan that I've got off to my left, but I'm not going to show you those. I'm actually going to freeze those up. And here we're going to take, when our pan gets hot, we're just going to go right into there. And another thing with pan frying anything, you want to just put it in there, into the oil, let it cook, flip it once, let it cook on the other side, and then it should be done. Now these are all the ingredients in this. Another way to test your pan too is to get yourself a little water and just, yep, hear that popping and cracking, means it's ready to go. So I'm just going to take all these babies and put them in here. Don't crowd your pan with the food. Whoop, I should bring these over here so my fat face isn't in the way. We just stick these right in here like this. Again, don't crowd your pan. And you just want to let these cook so they're crisp on one side. And then you flip them over, let them crisp on the other side. Probably about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. Anyway, you want to make sure it's hot and cooked all the way through. Let's just say that. You can crisp them up, cook them on both sides, and then throw them in the oven for about 10 minutes if you want to, just to be safe that that egg is cooked in and throughout. Again, about 4 minutes on each side. Of course, when you flip, make sure you go with the ones you put in first, or put in first, not put in, but put in first, so that ones that are not cooking as fast don't get flipped first. Saute them too if you do this. Those are looking pretty good. Just going to put them on a paper towel to rest a little bit. Not that it's got to have the blood settle in it because it's not meat. But I just want to let a little bit of that oil come off before we plate them up and try them out. Alright, we are back and thank you for joining me today on It's Only Food. We made this pretty good dish. It's called macaroni and cheese with barbecued pulled pork in there. It can be a side dish, it can be an entree, or it can be an appetizer. Very delicious, very tasty. I did try some when I was plating this up. Wow. Not to be bragging, but it was pretty damn good. So, that was what we made today. I'd like to just throw in a shameless plug if I might. This is my seasoning. I put this in the pulled pork that I made earlier. It's also good. I know some of you went and got popcorn earlier in the show and came back with it. This is very good on popcorn. So just go to my website at itsonlyfood.biz. It'll be in the channel link down below. Itsonlyfood.biz. Check out the page I've got for the seasoning, and I do some other things as well too. Go ahead and check that out. All right. I'd like to thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and this is your first date with It's Only Food, just go down to the little channel link. It's a postage stamp in the right, the left, well, your right, my left corner down here of a postage stamp of me cooking, and that'll send you right to my channel where you can subscribe, like, and share this wonderful channel. I got a special shout out for 2 young ladies who are some of my biggest fans. I'd like to say hi to Jada, and I'd like to say a shout out to Amaria. So I appreciate you two watching the show. Take care of yourselves and stay hungry. All right, leave a comment, like it, say hi, subscribe if you already haven't. Make sure you share it, share it, share it. Thank you for watching It's Only Food. Everybody out there, take care of yourselves and be safe. We love you. Take care. Bye-bye. Yowza. Wonder who I could pay to do this.